Hi, I'm Chris Mattock, designer of the Harmony House. The Harmony House project came about because my friend Arthur Lowe contacted me one day and said, I'd really like to do an equilibrium project and I'd like to enter the equilibrium design competition and I'd like you to write the proposal. And I said, fine, 2 weeks. I only have to fly to Shanghai between now and then. Shouldn't be any problem. He said, fine, you can write it on the plane, which I did, and in the airport. We made the submission, and amazingly, we actually won.
I'm Arthur Lowe. I'm the builder of the Harmony House projects. Yeah, I'm a builder and I'm also an engineer. I'm a member of the Institution of Civil Engineer in UK and also a member of the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers. I came to Canada in 1995, and since then we start our custom home construction in Vancouver, and we build houses. I try to build up the team, and I call Chris Mattock and say, Chris, are you interested in this program? The deadline of the submission is only 2 weeks away. And Chris had a business trip to China, and he had to work the proposal when he flew to China. But because of the hard working of Chris and also our team effort, so we did submit our proposal to CMXC on time. And now everybody knows that we won the competition, and then we were selected as one of the equilibrium homes to be built in British Columbia. According to the experience from some EQ project in Canada, and net-zero energy home may cost $150,000 more than a normal house. So from that point of view, I think our team is obliged to find the sponsorship from the industry, try to help the house owner to reduce their financial burdens. At the same time, I believe it is a demonstration project which demonstrates the most advanced and new technology for the home of the future. Therefore, sponsorship is not only to reduce the financial burden of the owner, it's also to provide the opportunity for the industry to showcase their new product.
I'm going to fall off.
Go ahead. I'm Bob Douglas.
And I'm Kristi.
Oftentimes, building terminology can be difficult to understand.
Let's see if we can clear up any confusion around these terms.
So what is a net zero energy home, you ask? Well, a net zero energy home refers to a home that produces as much energy as it uses. So the net out equals zero on an annual basis.
How does a house make energy, you ask? Well, there are a number of ways, including geothermal, wind, waste energy collection, technologies like heat recovery ventilators, photovoltaic solar arrays, solar heaters, and air source heat pumps. Today, our homes are for the most part net energy users. However, the homes of the future may be net zero or even net energy producers, making or capturing more energy than they use, and ultimately making money for the homeowners.
Wow, there's just years and years and years of stuff here. It's incredible. I don't know, I just forgotten about all these projects we'd worked on over the years. Ranging from single family to a townhouse project. Also solar water heater workshops, my trips to Asia, and some other things related to training. So I did a lot of training, building industry training largely. One of my first projects, this person had commissioned me to design this solar heated house. And this was a kind of first early attempt at solar. And so what we did is we actually built an 800 square foot solar collector on an adjacent building, which would then be used to heat the house. So this is referred to as an active solar system. That's quite interesting. It's good to see going back down memory lane and seeing all these old projects and our approach and how it's evolved and changed over time. It also shows the kind of influences that were going on at the time. Like a lot of this started with the oil crisis in the early 1970s, so there was a big push on energy efficiency and energy conservation, which tied into my interest in ecological buildings. I'd always been interested in buildings that could use the ambient energy in the environment to operate, and therefore would minimize pollution and impact on the environment. So it all kind of tied together. Another thing that I got very interested in was solar greenhouses, and they were often built attached to a house. So in some cases we attached a solar greenhouse to an existing house. Some cases we actually incorporated it into the design of a new house. And the solar greenhouses would often have a large water storage tanks that would again absorb heat during the day and release it at night. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we were exploring a lot of new concepts. These were concepts that are actually being explored all over the continent and in Europe and so on. So the idea was we were trying to make the building function in effect like a plant, in that it was collecting sunlight, was functioning on that, and so on. Yeah, this is inside the Kitsun project. Here we can see in the days when I had hair, or at least before my hair was gray. You can see I'm operating the skylight, which was this automatic opening skylight. And then there was actually a solar conference that was held in the 80s, and we had a lot of people come up from California, Washington, Oregon, and this was one of the projects that people went to see. And through UBC Continuing Education, they would promote the solar water heater workshops all around the province. And we'd go in there with equipment and materials. We'd do a talk for a couple of hours, and then we'd actually build a solar water heating system over 2 days. And it was great because we got a lot of people involved. There was a lot of interest and enthusiasm. It was a lot of fun. And then we'd raffle off the solar water heater, and someone would install it in their house. So that was kind of proselytizing the whole idea of solar, trying to get it out there and get people interested. And you have to remember, this was the 1970s, 1980s, when we'd gone through the oil shock and everyone was concerned about energy costs and pricing. And that's changed a bit over time. Now we've begun to recognize that we were using way too much energy to heat and cool buildings, and we had to go back to basic principles that had been learned thousands of years ago in ancient times. I guess as I gained more and more experience in doing these kind of buildings, I became more and more, I began to realize more and more that what we wanted to do was to come up with simpler approaches, fewer moving parts, use of local materials where possible, technologies that people can understand and operate easily. So the simpler the building, the more that it uses the movement of the sun and natural forces like wind and so on, the better the system works.
In this episode, we're looking at the integrated design process. Whether you're building a new home or you're renovating your existing home, good planning is the key to a successful project. Much like a conductor of music, the general contractor plans and orchestrates the activities of all the tradespeople to ensure they're all working towards the same goal and not getting in each other's way.
Hi, I'm Gary Hamer, a Technology and Innovation Manager with BC Hydro. I have a really interesting job. I get to take technologies or ideas and test them out to determine whether they have value to turn into a program, which ultimately will save our customers and our province energy. The first step in BC Hydro adding value to this project is through the integrated design process. The process starts by assembling the design team and all agreeing on the vision for the project. Mattock asked me to provide insight on how energy is used typically within a home and how we might improve upon that.
Design thread is the standard procedure for all net zero energy home projects in Canada because we believe that it is the best opportunity to collect information, knowledge from all the experts that will involve in this project. For a net zero energy home project, it's not only a normal home construction. It will involve so many new technology, different fields. For example, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and also the renewable energy system are really high demanding building envelope. All this require a lot of expertise to input in it to achieve a good result of the project. Therefore, design thread is the best opportunity that we have everybody sit together and try to brainstorm and try to find out the best solution for that. In fact, the design thread is the best opportunity to minimize the construction cost.
So what we look at are things like the building envelope, how well insulated it should be, how much energy should be used for lighting and power, heating and cooling, how we should orient the building to maximize the use of solar energy, how we should use landscaping to minimize energy use and provide shading in the summer perhaps, what kind of materials we might use in the project to ensure good indoor air quality and to minimize environmental impacts.
Okay, my name's Les Moncrieff, and this is my wife Linda. And we've lived in Vancouver since, for how many years?
1979.
1979. Linda's from Thailand. I'd met her there, and we got married in Thailand. But we've been here in Vancouver for a lot of years, and having met Mattock, who's a genius with solar housing and energy conservation, doing it for many years, he's proposed that we could build a house, a solar energy efficient house on that property, and we're quite excited about it.